An investor's risk profile takes into account two main things: risk aversion, or how an investor responds psychologically and emotionally to risk, also referred to as risk tolerance, and risk capacity, or the individual investor's situation. These two things combined give us our unique risk profile. Both parts of the equation are important because even if you have the capacity to take risks, you don't want to take on a level of risk that places you under emotional stress. So let's first consider risk aversion, or our personal tolerance to risk. Behaviorally speaking, risk aversion has to do with how we respond to loss. While some of us might shrug off a loss and look towards tomorrow as a new day, others might find it crippling. The formal investor might feel okay with an aggressive strategy. The latter should probably consider a more conservative approach. There are three main factors to our risk aversion: our genetic makeup, our immediate environment, and our past experiences. A study found that some of us are, in fact, more genetically predisposed to take on risk. While you're unlikely to go out and order a DNA test, you could consider those closest to you. If your parents are comfortable with financial risk, odds are you are too. Another study finds that there is a correlation between how parents treated the risk that came with the stock market and how the children's attitude towards the stock market developed later in life. That leads us to environment. The environment around us and the people we interact with on a daily basis can impact our risk aversion. Think about it. If the person you're discussing your finances with is a risk taker, their views may have an influence without you even realizing. But our biggest determinant is our past experiences. Our past relationship with money, either from our times as kids or just a particular memory, can create a lasting effect. For example, those who experienced a significant loss in the financial crisis are likely to have, on average, a higher risk aversion. Now, the second side of the coin, risk capacity. Again, we consider three main parts here: time horizon, present-day needs, and income. Essentially, we're looking to determine how much you can afford to lose without drastic effects on your quality of life. Time horizon will take into account your age and investment objectives. The younger you are, the longer the time horizon may be. That leaves you in a position to take some risks. If you're closer to the end of your time horizon, you'll be more concerned with protecting the gains that you've made over your lifetime, and therefore less willing to take on risks. Similarly, with your investment goals, the more time you have until these objectives arrive, for example, retirement, the longer your time horizon will be. Current needs. These are essentially your expenses. A few things to consider are whether you have a big purchase coming up, for example, buying a house, and the state of your emergency fund. If you have a substantial emergency fund and no immediate need to withdraw, your risk is likely higher, as a loss is less likely to cause immediate financial stress. And finally, income. Ultimately, the larger your income is in relation to your expenses, the more aggressive your investments can be. But you'll also need to consider the stability of your income. For example, are you a freelancer? Also ask yourself how fast you expect your salary to grow. If you can realistically predict that your salary should increase every year by 5%, you are in a much better position to be financially aggressive than someone who expects their pay to remain stagnant over the coming years. While a number of these factors are difficult to quantify, asking yourself these questions on a regular basis can help determine what level of risk you're willing to take in your investments. If you want to learn more about risk and how it influences your approach to investing, I'd recommend our free Demystifying Investments course, which covers different types of risk and how to use that information to build your own investment portfolio. If you have any other questions, please feel free to visit fundcaliber.com.